Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks, and we are about ready to jump into the face-off of our first matchup tonight. That's Nerve versus Simple Tankers. Nerve has one loss so far in their only match, and that is against Hammer Time. Simple Tankers has a win against No Limit, but a loss against Spurglords, which we mentioned at the intro of the show, is a big upset because Simple Tankers, top 4 team the last 2 seasons, and they lost against a brand new team into Season 3, into the Gold League. Yeah,
it's really surprising Simple Tankers is seed 4. So if that doesn't tell you anything about where they stand next to Nerve, which is seed 8, I mean, the expectations are high for Simple Tankers, and they've been acting strangely. I just don't know what to think of their choices. Why exactly they're bringing such crazy choices that aren't really working out? Could they have even worked in practice?
There's only one way to find out. I'm thinking, trying to process the 2 Waffentragers that were brought in their first matchup. They changed it up. They started playing more, not conservative, but just regular style of bringing. What's the word? It starts with a C.
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive. That's the word. I couldn't think of it. They were playing more comprehensive against Spurglords, and that's when they had that win. But Spurglords was already up 2-0. And they needed one more, and they got it on that final map. Let's go ahead and ask Simple Tankers themselves as we jump into the first face-off of them versus Nerve. Hello, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening. Hey.
All right, Jay Smooth, I got to ask you this. Why? Why the Waffentragers? What is happening?
Oh, it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work. I promise. No, I botched up that first game. I got myself out of position, not fast enough to get where it needed to be. That one was on me. So it'll be fine. You'll see. Just wait.
Okay. Good things happen to those who wait, but Nerve, you're not waiting around for anybody. You had a tough loss against Hammer Time. What are your thoughts and feelings moving in this matchup against Simple Tankers?
We weren't too lingering on the Hammer Time loss. It was we looked back at it and realized there's our own little corrections we needed to make and everything else. Other than one match, we dropped it really hard, but that's fair enough. We admitted that. We've looked at it. We go at it differently next time in. So we've looked at Simple Tankers, what they've done these last couple matches, and hopefully have something ready for them.
Don't do that. Only it's not very good.
Roombas.
All right, Nerve, do you have any words for Simple Tankers before we start the match?
Hey, good luck, buddy.
Jason, with any response?
We're going for the 3-peat tonight against Nerve. We'll see if it comes out.
Okay.
See if it comes out.
We'll see.
All right, well, Jay Smooth, I really like the kitchen in the background now. It's making me really hungry.
Thank you. Yes. We confirmed it's not the bathroom.
I know. You raised the webcam because of that little countertop. Now I know why you have it there. Makes sense. Well, with Simple Tankers, you have the higher seed, so heads or tails on the coin flip?
Tails.
Tails will be the call. It is heads. So, Nerve. Map choice.
We will defer.
They will defer. Simple Tankers heads or excuse me, north or south. Or, no, I'm sorry. Map choice. They deferred.
There we go. We're going to go back to Ensk. We're going to play it until we win it.
Ensk will be the first map, and
we will take north.
They'll take north side of Ensk. Simple Tankers will spawn to the south. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming to the game.
Let's take a look at the tanks. 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a 1390 for the side of Nerve. On the side of Simple Tankers, we have 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and they're going to be bringing the Waffle again.
The Waffle, some call it the Rumba. That's Mornblade, who's usually in a Pershing, sometimes a 5100 we've seen. And not going for 2, but for 1. Jay Smooth is going to be leading Simple Tankers to the south and the red. To the north side of Ensk will be Nerve. Nerve being led by Hornsby.
Conflict in 1390. I'm following him right at the beginning. He's in a 1390, and he's actually going to go out to the east instead of to the west with the other tier 8s. The other tier 8s on his team will be going to very normal positions in the west. And as I jump over to them, Rummy and Jed Scott, normal spots. We've got 5100 Haywood looking right down that 3-4 line. Good positioning there. He could catch someone who crosses in the southwest a little bit too greedily. Oh, and there is spotting happening. Kill Panic is spotted. by, I can't tell. Oh, it's a T1 Hornsby. Hornsby has spotted him down the line. And he is going to actually back off. That'll be nothing happening. Conflict, though, is looking for a T1. And I'm not quite sure if he's going to find anyone. Is he, Clutch?
No, nobody is spotted on the side of Simple Tankers. Kill Panic is the one furthest to the north in that Golf 1 line. He's fallen back to Hotel 1. Maybe Juliet. No, he's going to go over to 2. Staying with the heavy tanks next to him. The pocket is small for Simple Tankers, where the larger spread of Nerve looks like they're more to the north side, and they can creep a little bit closer south, and once they do cross that Echo or Foxtrot line, they will be into enemy territory, and that's where it gets a little bit dangerous here, because Simple Tankers can push one of their heavy tanks, who is behind this section, Pub Whisper. He can go towards the railroad tracks and get a nice surround in that 5100.
Yeah, but this position is really tight for Simple Tankers. Like, just look at it. You got the 5100 looking to the northeast right here. This is Pub Whisperer in the 5100. Everyone else is slightly to the west and to the north of this position, and the coverage is solid. I don't think there's an approach we could see Nerve take that will catch anyone by surprise. However, there is Kill Panic spotted. Haywood, I don't think I saw any shots fired from him, and he's just waiting, watching right down this line. No, I don't think that T1's coming back, is he?
No, Kill Panic's going to stay behind, and this is going to be... Where's he going? Yes, he's over on the 4 line, moving back
closer
to 3.
Ooh, he could get spotted if he keeps going out here.
I
guess he didn't spot the 5100 in response.
No, there has been nothing spotted on the map for Simple Tankers throughout the entire game so far. Nothing.
Wow. Well, the T1 has been spotted. This guy. They know where the Simple Tankers T1 is. Kill Panic is going to be... That's an interesting position for a T1, actually. I usually don't see anyone there, although he's going to try and progress up. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess he's going to take a left up here and try and get closer so he can use his T1's view range to spot at Haywood in the 5100. Maybe it would be a good idea at this point to also put someone on the 3-4 line to fire up and take advantage of the spotting that Kill Panic could get, but I guess Simple Tankers don't really care enough to do that. They want to watch more important positions, or positions they believe to be more important.
Well, the one position they're trying to cover is Mournblade in that tank destroyer is covering the 1 line profusely, honestly. And now they finally spot one of the tanks. Kill Panic gets that targeting for the 5100.
And the 5100 doesn't spot him at all. So Haywood actually backs off.
And he's going to
with
get
that,
out of range.
He has to give up that position, though. And now we could see Simple Tankers actually put someone in the keyhole position in Juliet 3-4 right on the line there. And Haywood would take damage if he decided to come back. But Haywood's not going to. Haywood's going to back off.
Well, again, here we see Mournblade in the tank destroyer. Hanging way far back. You can see this is a tank destroyer where it has a fully rotating turret. It has pretty good speed for a tank destroyer. It can get into the mix.
Although it's just because it's so tiny and light. Its engine's actually not even that strong. It doesn't need a strong engine, of course.
I believe the chassis was used off of the Hetzer. They're
Really?
trying to improve upon it. Well, but no action coming from both these teams here, guys. 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Now, Nerve knows the split down that 1 line. They haven't spotted him yet, but they're not seeing anything with their spotting of those light tanks down the railroad. So they're playing more cautious because of that tank destroyer range and fire. However, if they can get a surprise attack, maybe not against a tank destroyer itself, but against some of these tanks that are now pushing up to the north, it could be more devastating if there's at least, or if only one miss coming out of Mournblade.
Well, there is actually spotting happening because Nerve is watching right down that line. Zakume is spotted by Rummy, I think it is. Maybe not. No, it's going to be, I think, Conflict. Wow, Conflict's in the backfield, actually, as we're not really paying attention to that. He will find Executus, and he looks for the shot, but Executus is going to back behind cover, and Conflict will have to retreat. With that, we could actually see Simple Tankers move all their tanks up to the north and overmatch, but they would, of course, run the risk of getting capped out by tanks in the backfield.
Zakumi moves a little bit closer. He does see Jen Scott and Rummy in his IS-3, and joining him is Ruth Van Carlisle. Ruth Van Carlisle on his IS-3 may be a battle buddy for Zakumi here in this firefight, but no shots are going to be fired. This does allow the tank destroyer to move up. Shot fired in the IS-3. Does down to 12:03 is Rummy.
Yeah,
And they
but
fire back.
Jace was at 697. Both Haywood, Rummy, and I think maybe even Angry White Guy got shots. Rummy looks to peek out for Ruth and Carlisle, and he fires, but it doesn't bounce. Haywood will peek out, and he will connect down to 789. And J-Smooth will fire into Haywood. Shots onto J-Smooth, though J-Smooth needs to back off here. Also, Conflict, in the meantime, is engaging to the further south.
Mournblade now pushing up in the Rumba and the Tank Destroyer. He's going to get around this corner and fire a big shot against the 5100 if he's able to get there. No, he's going to push around even further. Fires on Jenscott for over 600 damage. Jenscott down to 28. But the push comes against the IS-3s. J-Smooth backs out. However, that one tank going down is huge. It's a big damage dealer down for Nerve. However, they have lost Ruth Van Carlisle and J-Smooth. The 5100 does fall Zach Kumi on his own.
Oh, Mournblade looks for a shot on Rummy, but does not connect. It hits dirt instead, and Rummy will live ever so slightly longer. Maybe Angry White Guy can save his battle buddy. One more shot. Zakume will not go down. He will live ever so little bit longer. Will he get a shot on Rummy? Yes, he will, and he will finish him off. Now Mournblade comes in, and he looks for a shot, but does not connect.
Pub Whisper could good overmatch against Angry White Guy if they're able to get the surround, but he's actually going for the flag cap, it looks like, to the north. And the same is happening for Nerve as they move further to the south here. Mournblade tries to line up a shot, and he gets it. Over 700 damage being done in one hit. Another roll like that, and he can take down Angry White Guy with another shot.
Yeah, definitely so. Conflict, in the meantime, looks to have won the fight in the south, so big deal right there. 1390 taking on a 5100 and winning. And now they will return to base. 38 seconds left, but Conflict is easily within range. Haywood will move into the 3-4 line. Pub Whisperer is spotted. Haywood and Conflict stop. Zero their shots. First is a miss, second is a connect. Shots onto Conflict, one more, and there goes the 5100 Pub Whisperer. Mournblade is their only hope now.
Oh, and a nice shot against the T1. Gets the kill, and that's going to stop the flag cap. Mournblade tries to line up a shot against Haywood. Big hit, 873. It does not kill him, though. And that is 2 shots.
But here comes Conflict. He is 4 seconds away. Mournblade's going to not be loaded in time for this, but he is facing Conflict and may be able to get the shot off. 3, 2, yes.
He does, but the damage has been done. Only 54 HP left. And that is going to be a victory for Nerve. The Waffentrage at what cost? Another loss for Simple Tankers.
They're not able to make it work. Other teams are just playing better. I think just bigger, beefier tanks are a better choice for this map. And the 1390, more maneuverable, just stronger burst. It's outplaying the Roomba as far as I can see. And we could probably see this in the post-game stats.
Well, the Roomba was 4 for 6 in the shots. He did miss twice. And those misses were devastating. Devastating. If he would have hit that 5100 around the corner, it could have been a different story.
You know what, Clutch? I might actually be wrong hating on the Roomba so much. He did 2,429 damage.
He did. Imagine if he landed those other 2 shots. He could have at least got over 3,000 damage.
Exactly, which shows the potential, I think, of the tank more than anything else. I guess other members of Simple Tankers are just not there to help or just not staying alive. Maybe that actually could be it. Because the Roomba has to be so sheltered and he has to come into such delicate situations or else he goes down instantly, you have other tanks taking the brunt of the attack.
Oh, yeah, with the tanks like a 5100 that can deal out a lot of damage. Yes, it's not going to be one shot compared to the Waffentrage, but they can land 3 or 4 that'll do a significant amount of damage and then pull back, and they can't take a couple hits compared to the Waffentrage. So you have a tank that can stay alive longer, move faster, and has more consistent shots that could lead to a track shot, that could lead to 2 or 3 shots on the side and then getting to the back and landing another one for higher damage.
It's a lot of maybes and hypotheticals. It's just, I think we're going to have to wait a little longer to see maybe the waffle kind of.
And that's where J-Smooth is correct, and they're going to try to make it work. It's a certain style. It's a certain way you have to play it compared to these conventional type of lineups that we've seen. And conventional mainly means the only difference is, do they have 2 IS-3s or 3 compared to 2 or 3 AMX 5100s?
Yeah.
I do like, and I will always try to favor these teams that are bringing something different, like a WZ-132 on mines, like the T-32s on Prohorovka that are starting to work out better because, or pretty well at least, because it changes up the mentality of all the different teams.
Yeah, and a lot of strats aren't compatible with those opponents. You just can't make some approaches to a map work when you're running up against T-32s or Prohorovka. You can't be as aggressive. You can't just run straight at them because you're just going to lose. You're going to run out of shells, and they're going to have too many hit points, or you're going to bounce here and there. That's why it doesn't work with Prorovka. It works great on mines because it counters out an opening. Now, it doesn't work, though, sometimes when your opponent plays knowing that's coming. If your opponent knows you're going to bring that WZ-132 on mines, they know you're going to bring the Waffle on Ensk. They can alter their play style and cater to that and then just counter it out very easily, I think.
We're going to be jumping on Steps, which will be the next map in about 60 seconds, how long these players have.
Any Roombas picked yet? Clutch?
No, they're going to wait till the last couple seconds in
Yeah.
order to pick their tanks. Steps, again, a map that is being favored more and more, probably, and we're just getting a better sense of this since the changes have come out recently,
Yeah.
but because of the changes to the south and allowing for that divot and a little bit better coverage coming from the Eastern Valley side where these tankers have been going to typically, and Randall's going to go ahead and detail that for us on the
Precisely.
telestrator.
All right, so the recent change to Steps, guys, that is right into the southeast approach. If you approach from the southeast, it used to be a big open zone. Like this entire area was large and open from the south, whereas you had some nice coverage here and here for the north side. Now you get a better, cleaner approach. You have coverage here. Sorry, I should coverage right there and right there, which means you have a lot of a safer approach. You can get hull downs just in encounter this. This is about the halfway point. It works a lot better. It's much easier for the south to play the east side of the map. Sorry, I'll tab for you.
Oh, so we all tap back into the game. It's just underway. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2 on Steps. Nerve versus Simple Tankers. And what do we have for tanks?
Looking at these tanks, 2 T-69s, 3 1390s for the side of Nerve. For the side of Simple Tankers, 2 Pershings and 3 T-1390s. So, similar lineups, but we've got Burst for the side of Nerve. We've got Consistent Fire, and I'd say a stronger hold down for those Pershings.
Pershing's out against the T-69. For the changes that have happened to Heat, would you want the T-69s to favor using AP rounds instead of Heat rounds?
Yeah, I'd say you bring maybe a half and half lineup, where you'd bring maybe 1 or 2 clips of AP, and you bring a few Heat, and you try and switch it up when you know what's going to happen. Like when you're sniping at long range, you bring those Heat shells. Then when you actually get into the brawl, maybe you bring AP because you're going to be flanking around and all sorts of stuff like that. So that would be maybe the best choice, but we might want to ask actually the players because I'm out of it right now. I wasn't a T-69 player. I don't favor it as much, so
I prefer
wouldn't consider
using
myself the
I
expert.
prefer using APCR rounds the most out of any other rounds.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble with Heat on the STA-1. It gets annoying, and that's why I went over to the Pershing and the APCR, and I went, yeah, this is what it feels like to do better in a medium tank. But the game still evolves. The developers still bring new elements to the game, which is really exciting to be a part of, and to see these new tanks being used. And to me, again, these team members, such as J Smooth's Reasoning and bringing the Waffentrager, want to bring something that's fun but effective. And a bit of a lag spike there. But now
Yeah,
we're
it
back
happens.
in.
A lot of internet issues for some reason. It's that storm on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's throwing a wrench in the side of
I
lot
actually
of
ordered
the
I ordered a book,
telemarketing
and then I got an email today. They're like, "You still want it?" The storm kind of shut us down. It's like, geez, yes, I want my book still, but I didn't realize they'd want to ask. Yeah, just.
Do you
random
like
stuff.
reading physical books more than electronic?
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. Just I tried reading. What was it? Kindle Fire. Not hating on it. Just I prefer a solid book because I can also like put notes in it. I like to write.
I
in
prefer to
books.
get away from electricity here and there, get away
Yeah,
from
it is.
electronics to enjoy
That's
it.
what I
And
did
also,
over the break a lot.
yeah, and also, when the world ends, you can't get electricity anywhere. You
Precisely.
got books
Or you can just make electricity, Clutch. Because science.
with potatoes.
Precisely.
Lots of potatoes. Kill Panic in the T1 will be all the way to the south. He's going to spot Nerve pushing across the southern portion of this map first if they do commit past the 5-6 line. The commitment coming out of Simple Tankers from surprisingly the south into the East Valley, you got to imagine a bit of their confusion of, wait a second, usually there's going to be a northern team moving up against us on this side of the east, but there's no tanks there. I like what Nerve's trying to do here. They could set up a good pattern of coming up the bank of the next to the road, the cover next to the road,
Yeah.
and then falling back, but they can't go with a flag cap because it's way too exposed.
Yeah, that's the thing about Steps. It's so open that it's easy to cover. And that makes it really dangerous to try and put pressure on it or to screen. because in order to screen, you have to go into a very specific line. For example, in the southwest right now, you have Nerv, who's just outside their opponent's cap, but they're not going to be able to screen it because, look, there are people waiting for that to happen. And in order for them to make the approach, they're going to have to go slightly to their northeast, where Jen Scott is currently pointing his tank. Now his turret, of course, is looking over at Kill Panic as Rummy is going to cross over, but dangerously, I should say. Shots fired, no connection. There's a connection.
That's a big hit against Rummy. Kill Panic is tracked, but another shot from around the corner.
Is it worth it, though? Rummy's taking 2 hits now, down to 650 hit points. He should take another one, but his track is up, and he has gone dark. Is it worth it? Is a T1 worth losing at 1390 down to 650 hit points?
It is worth it if they decide to use that approach of the roadside. But again, that's going to come in later in the battle, especially when you have these tanks that are now jumping on the flag cap to the north. And that's going to leave them exposed for a bit. Now moving further to the north, they're going to try to find that T1. They see Lieutenant Carter.
But Executus is looking for a different T1. He's looking at Hornsby, and Lieutenant Carter knows he's spotted, so he fires just frantically before he is going to be taken down.
Executus gets the kill. And now there's 4 tanks way to the north. Only one can contest him. He's at the Echo 3 section of the map.
But also, as Blue Base is under attack in the south, we have Nerv actually crossing over to screen the cap. Maybe they'll put cap pressure on themselves, as it looks like someone is returning to base. Not Conflict, not Rummy. It is Angry White Guy, and he will be going back to stop cap while the fight does begin.
I like what Nerv's doing here of going forward into the eastern area from the south. Mournblade's holding him back very well, though, in the Pershing. 2 bounces, and he's going to fall back even further. Rummy takes another hit. And Mournblade hit to the front, now 524, now down to 259. J-Smooth is not able to move there in time to save his friend. He falls as well. Nerv has only lost 2 tanks compared to 3. Well, there goes that Kumi. So it's 4 against 4, but one of the T1s still left alive.
Oh, Angry White Guy has actually missed 2 shots on cap on Ruth and Carlo. He finally gets it, but he is down to 3 shots left in his clip. That will affect the battle happening in the east, as he will not have enough shells to finish off a few tanks.
Well, it's 3-on-3 right now. Simple Tankers has 1 AMX 1390, 2 AMX 1390s, and 1 Pershing compared to 2 T69s and 1 1390. This is going to come down to America versus America, and those Pershings against a T69, and the T69s are low on HP.
Oh, and Executus is chasing Angry White Guy. A shot from Zakumi, and the Pershing connects, and he starts taking fire from the T69s. They are reloaded. Zakumi down to 225.
One more shot could get him.
Could.
And he might have gotten out there in time.
Barely gets into a defilade and safe. Pub Whisperer, though, is loaded, and he's going to start unloading on Haywood. Haywood has almost nowhere to run.
Jen Scott, with the lowest HP, falls way back to not get scouted by Pub Whisperer in the front. He is seen, though, and he's going to pop up here. Haywood, where are they focusing? Pub Whisperer misses a shot. Executus with the higher HP comes over the mountain.
Shots are barely going over Jen Scott. He is just lucky to be alive at this moment, and he's actually going to go looking for Zakume. He wants that kill, but he's going to be all alone. He could get himself caught out, and only 1 hit will take him down. In the meantime, Haywood and Angry White Guy are just going to sit still, pinned in their positions.
Well, in this position, they're going to go further north for Simple Tankers to get on that flag. Now, the deviation from the frontline approach is a smarter tactic with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. There are some bushes and some rock cover, allowing them to hold out a little bit longer, forcing Nerv to move to the north to deal with them once they do put a tank on the flag cap. They're not going to do it yet until they are ready, and Zakumi will be the Pershing to jump on the flag.
Yep. And now that they're screening, they finally realize Angry White Guy and Haywood are going to begin to move up, but they didn't recognize that their opponent had left until a little bit too late. There's an advantage here, though. I think Nerv will have the high ground in this engagement. They'll be able to come over this hill you currently see to the left, and when they come over the dune, I mean, I think they're going to be able to stop cap and possibly take out wherever Zakume is. I think they'll target him. Oh, he is on cap, isn't he?
He is on cap. He's riding behind the shell of a T1. This is going to come down to Nerve's focus fire. Angry White Guy is spotted from further away. Zekumi tries to line up a shot, does not. Executus in the 1390s all the way to the north. This may be a nice approach from Nerve, but they're going to be advancing against the guy that has the most HP, leaving that exposed against Zekumi. If they're able to target fire one of the tanks, which Angry White Guy may be doing, but a shot from Zekumi, nice hit against Angry White Guy, and Haywood going to try to get it. Executus is the one to take down Jen Scott. Executus pushes up and almost full HP, and now he's going to fire
missed shot.
Haywood, but he gets the cleanup kill, and now Pub Whisper is sweeping in with Executus to get on that flank of Angry White Guy.
There's finally connection. Angry White Guy actually catches fire, and now Pub Whisper is coming in. He puts it. Oh, he catches fire again, and he will go down.
Let it burn. Let it burn, Pub Whisper says he rolls by. Simple Tankers ties up the series 1-1.
Much more comprehensive lineup.
Much more comprehensive. Again, no Waffentrage means a win for Simple Tankers.
Yeah, when they play this way, they just win. I think they should play that comprehensive game and then try these fancy new things with the waffles, because it still works for them when they play with the 1390s and Pershings. Yep. They have Mournblade, who is an exceptional player.
Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We come back. Battle number 3 of Nerve versus Simple Tankers. Stay tuned. You're watching the Gold League for World of Tanks. Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. And we're going to be jumping into the next battle in just a little bit. What map would you choose if you just lost on steps? What map would
Well, if you look at it, Simple Tankers hasn't been doing that well on city maps. Mm-hmm. So maybe go to Himmelsdorf or Ruinberg.
Prohorovka.
Prohorovka? Why?
Prohorovka, because the East versus West battle and what we saw from the Cunninghams was well executed. And if they could recreate that with their mobility, and if Simple Tankers decides to go for a tank destroyer or a heavier tank back towards the northwestern side,
maybe
it would prove to be a little more valuable for them if they get those isolations on the north. If they spawn to the south.
That speaks a lot to your style, I think, Clutch. That you would take another team's approach and say, we should use that, and go for it. Where a lot of teams try and do their own style and their own personality and then create their own strategy, and maybe it looks like someone else's, but they created it.
I feel that the eastern side of the railroads is completely underutilized by most of these teams.
But the thing is, when you play the eastern side of the railroads, a lot of the times you polarize yourself from your opponent. If they play the west, you might be giving yourself a draw situation, where you saw Cunningham do a great job from the west, but from the east, I haven't seen a team do quite as well consistently in breaking out of that situation where you're east-west. I feel like the west side generally has the solution figured out, but the east side can't push to the west so easily.
Well, most of the solution is the western side is waiting it's like World War I no man's land waiting, and then it's the eastern hits that come against them, which we saw one of the pushes on the 1390 go.
That's more of your opponent's mistakes, though, I think. More them peeking out and actually being too exposed so you get those shots because you can make them, instead of them, I don't know, I feel like it's more your opponent's mistake than your skill in that situation. When I think of a strategy, I want whatever move I make, if it's going to work because my guys have done the move properly, it doesn't matter what they do. We've done the right thing.
It always matters what they do.
It matters what they do.
Always matters.
But, I mean, whether they're amateur or professional.
You want to out-strategize your opponent, which is true, but that goes to my point is these teams are not out-strategizing their opponent because the East is such... It's Fulcrum Gaming did it the best when they had Nagatron go all the way to the north side at 1390, push in, cause a turret break, which happens in the west, and then they're able to push in from the south on the west.
It's just really risky, though, because if they find Nagatron before he does that, then what happens is they have an overmatch. They recognize they can push forward, and then you have Nagatron trailing behind in the fight, whereas the rest of your guys just got focused down in a 4v5. So that's the risk of sending that scout around to the north, or around to the south, alternatively. If you send someone out to flank, your risk is that you reveal him too early and you miss out on the flanking opportunity and its benefits.
That is true. But the map's not going to be Prohorovka, guys. It's going to be on Himmelsdorf. So let's see what these teams bring to battle number 3 as they are tied up 1-1, Nerve versus Simple Tankers.
And the tanks they will bring are 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s for the side of Nerve. Simple Tankers will be bringing 2 110s, 2 5100s, and an IS-3. All right, this is a little different, but this is still a really solid lineup from Simple Tankers.
Yes, solid, but these 110 favorabilities, these type of strategies, again, Simple Tankers trying to do something different. Fulcrum Gaming, the other team that I think of when they bring 2 110s instead of 1.
Yeah, and I think there was Refuse to Die was liking those 110s a lot. There's a lot of teams that are really converting over to the 110. What is it? Maybe Cult.
110 cult.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to do to enter the cult?
I don't know.
Oh, shots fired from Executus into Hornsby, but most of them hit the side of the Rebel of that building.
None of them hit Hornsby.
Yep. Hornsby said, haha, nice try. He gets away down the D-line. West is going to be the choice of Nerve and the choice of Simple Tankers.
Yeah, the way they're lining up, it's going to be a standoff. Although they're not able to spot each other because with the 5100, the IS-3, and the 110, you actually don't have and you don't have 400-meter view range like you get out of a lot of American tanks. So the thing is here, they're going to have trouble spotting each other. Of course, as I say that, I think Angry White Guy got spotted being a little bit aggressive in his tank.
Rummy is spotted on the map presently, but no avenues of fire will be able to hit him.
Well,
it's going to be a bit of a standstill between these two teams. East, again, we keep talking about the East, but it is completely open, and that's going to allow that 1T1 up on the hill going to the north, but we do have Hornsby still in the window.
And they're just kind of, wow, Hornsby is just not getting hit. There's even shells bouncing off the top of his tank. Executus did take a few hits and went down to 103. I'm wondering if Lieutenant Carter is going to be able to spam him from the hill, because the other 110, I guess that's Kill Panic, is somewhere in the southwest, not really able to do anything right now.
A couple peppered shots up against the building. Executus does take one hit, falls back a little bit. Nothing seen on the hillside. No shots fired against Executus. He's hugging that eastern wall so well, but he will leave himself a little bit exposed when he pushes up here against this window.
Yeah, and actually Rummy is looking for a shot on Executus, but it doesn't look like he can find it right now. Having a lot of trouble. Maybe he's loading HE, looking for that splash onto Executus. Hornsby, of course, spotting him again, but I'm seeing movement out of Simple Tankers, Clutch.
And they are moving in a reset here towards Tank Alley, towards that 7 and 8 line.
Ooh, shots onto Executus. He's down to 46 hit points, and there is a lot of spotting. Lieutenant Carter will spot Ruth and Carl Zakume, and who else was that? There were a few other tanks. I think Warmblade may have been spotted in the group, revealing this movement to Nerve, and they will be prompted to move. That everyone is moving out. Rummy leading the charge is going to go along the D line with the 5100s trailing in the north. So they're going to mirror this, and they're getting prepped. Rummy is zeroed down that D line. Conflict zeroed down the D line. If Simple Tankers keeps pushing, they're in a bad place.
Oh, this is going to be really, really tough unless they hold out a little bit longer and do take that hill from the south, leaving one opening possible for a flank. But no full commitment, and also because of the positioning of that 1T1, he will see that heavy tank. That's going to be really key for Nerve to push in at the right time, since one of the heavies is not going to be in the engagement. They are getting closer and closer. They're moving across the courtyard here, at least a couple of the tanks are.
Yeah, Rummy will be leading the way. IS-3 is all three of them together. Conflict, Jen Scott, Rummy, just an IS-3 hit squad. And to the north, 5100s are just waiting to pop out and unload on Zakume and Mornblade.
This is going to be a really big firefight for Nerve, and here they go. Shots being fired. They're going to focus down against Mornblade. They need to... Well, they're actually going to focus against Zakumi. Zakumi's going to get out of there. 2 bounces against his IS-3 as Mornblade pushes up in the 110, takes a big hit against Angry White Guy. He takes 3 hits himself at 607, gets tracked twice. Another hit, a double volley at 37 HP, and he falls. Now it is a full-on engagement on the eastern side. That is down the Tank Alley. Another tank falls. Ruth Van Carlisle gets that kill. Conflict in the IS-3, backing up. He's going to focus on the one remaining red tank to his right. That's Rummy, leaving an escape for him, as now a couple more tanks are going to focus against Jason.
Yeah, Jay Smooth, though, is going to get out of the way. Ruth Van Carlisle is kind of stranded here, but he's actually able to pick up a kill onto Conflict, and he is going to get tracked, unable to escape. Actually, he's going to burn his kit for that, And it doesn't look like anyone is ready for this. Haywood is crossing in the open, looking for that flank. I think he might be loaded, but Cap has begun.
Cap has started for the red team. We do have, is that Executus? No, it's Kill Panic on the set there. And Executus is going to get closer, allowing for 2 T1s to get on that flag cap, forcing one of the T1s, looks like Hornsby, going back to getting the engagement against Kill Panic. Kill Panic, if he loses this firefight, Executus will have a slight advantage being fully reloaded here, and he's going to turn the corner just in time as Executus gets closer and closer. Kill Panic there against Hornsby. Here comes the firefight. Hornsby around the corner. Executive sets up the shot, gets nice hits against Hornsby. Kill Panic cleans it up.
And back
Beautiful
further to the
place.
south now, Haywood and Angry White Guy focus down J-Smooth. Now they focus on Ruth and Carlo. First shot is a bounce. Another shot into Publisher, actually. They're going to change their target and take him down. Now Ruthven is alone. Jen Scott to his rear.
Ruthven Carlisle on the 110 needs to keep these guys distracted for 36 seconds longer. Haywood's going to leave and go to the north. The other tank behind them, oh no, Ruthven Carlisle is going to be completely surrounded in that 110 in just a matter of seconds. There comes one of the remaining Tier 8s, Jen Scott in the IS-3. Big shot to the rear, and he is going to fall. 20 seconds left, 2 T1s up against a fast-moving AMX 5100. I think that Nerve is going to take this battle.
Yeah, 12 seconds left. There is a chance that Haywood will miss these kills. It's possible. Anything can happen. But he turns the corner. 3, 2. He is able to smash one tank and then another. GG, guys.
He's waiting to get the last kill and Kill Panic. Still pushing him. Kill Panic firing back. And there he goes. Shoots through the tank. And that's going to be a 2-1 for Nerve. One battle away from taking the series. This could be declared an upset. Nerve, the 8th seed team, up against Simple Tankers. Still 2 teams that are part of the top 8. And we're seeing some good play coming out of Nerve here. Really smart play down that tank alley, getting that surround.
Yeah, the timing on that was exceptional. They brought the IS-3s in once they started turning turrets. Now, there was an interesting response by Simple Tankers. The 2 tanks in front, that was Mornblade and Zakume, I think, tried to get out, but Mornblade didn't get out. He was stuck. He was trapped, and the 5100s just ate him alive.
And he was in a tough spot, too, because that rubble cuts the road in half from behind. So he decided to go forward. His teammates were behind him. They couldn't get any clear shots because 1, his tank's in the way, and 2, the rebels there. It would overexpose themselves. They would shoot past the 110, which is not what you want to have happen if it's a 5100. You want to keep the 5100s alive. So Mornblade was probably yelling to his teammates, "Go, remember me," as he fell. 110 took a lot of damage. Those double volleys, boom, 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 boom. It's like it came in 2s against him.
And that's the thing. You bring 2 5100s like that, they focus down somebody right at the beginning of the fight. They will nuke him. He is going down. You can spare a bounce or 2 there when that happens. And 3 IS-3s, I mean, 390, 390, 390. You know, like 1,200 damage just waiting to happen right there. And they wasted a tank or 2.
And he was at an angle a little bit to the right because he was trying to turn into the courtyard area. So you have to make that decision of, do I angle straight ahead because the bounce is going to be better, or do I keep that angle and hope that I can make it out of there to survive?
It's just so tough, and they were in a bad position anyway. Nerve made a really strong response. Where they put their IS-3s slightly to the south, behind those 2 tanks, forced them to move like that into the open where the 5100s were. If they'd stayed where they were, tried to hold the ground that they had, they would have had to turn around to 5100s. 5100s get beautiful rear shots, and if they go forward, they walked into 5100s, just like we saw. Now, Zakume got out for a little while, but then he went down just because he was in and amongst the enemy lines, and his own allies weren't pushing around that corner to get into the fight, too.
No, they were falling back a little bit because they didn't know which entrance was going to be the next choice of engagement for Nerve.
Yeah.
And they could have gone straight south of the courtyard and turned the corner, or hung in that pocket. They were in that pocket for a little while, but then to the further northern side, finally that 1 IS-3 came behind, cleaned up Ruthven Carlisle, and that was it.
Then also, I think they had a 5100 out of position at the beginning of the fight, too. He wasn't there to fight.
Yeah, he was on the hill.
Yeah,
and that was the timing that they pushed once he was spotted.
Precisely. It was really well done by Nerve, just playing very comprehensive. Our next map is actually going to be Cliff, so we're getting another open map this time.
Probably no tank destroyers from Simple Tankers. They're going to be playing comprehensively, but we could be seeing some WZ-132s because of the initial engagement, due to them being fully loaded compared to a 1390 in that time of reload. if you have 2 of them, it could be a double fire, double volley, and that'll be some significant damage if they're able to lock down one of the tanks. We're going to find out as we jump into battle number 4, Nerve versus Simple Tankers on Cliff.
Oh, clutch. Oh, clutch.
Wow,
2
hey, look at that.
WZ-132s.
Look at that.
It's like you have a pre-battle awareness. You're psychic or
I've been
something.
playing this game for a little while, man.
Yeah, sure. A 1390 T69 and an Object 416 for the side of Nerve. Interesting lineup. I don't think we've seen quite that before. On the other side, 2 Pershings and 3 1390s for Simple Tankers.
1 consistent fire tank is tier 8, and the rest over on the side of Simple Tankers are 2 consistent fires and the rest autoloaders. I feel this is going to be a tougher battle. Well, obviously for Simple Tankers for being behind, but they're going to have less map control because of those Pershings. For movement at least. For view range, you're going to be fine, but for movement, it's going to be a little bit tough.
Well, it's a decently maneuverable tank. I mean, the 416 is not really faster, but those WZ-132s are really zippy. So it's really weird. I don't think they're going to perform that well. That's just me. I think when they climb up this hill and they meet the 1390s, they're going to lose out in the burst. That's just what I see happening. And actually, I think, does Haywood have the wrong gun? He has
Haywood
a
has
weird-looking
an
gun
85.
on there.
He has an 85.
Yeah, but he's got.
SIP 64
I don't think he has the right 85. Yeah, I think he's got the WZ-131's 85. I don't know. As the engagement begins, Angry White Guy and Haywood are going to take shot after shot. They're trying to connect, but none yet. And they're already losing out the fight. WZ-132 is not able to bring that early lead in this fight.
No, they are trying to hit. Well, they're trying to hit Jay Spoon at 1390. He's down to 467. Executus with him as the battle buddy. Able to get some nice cleanup kills. Jay Smooth down to 51 though. 2 for 1 special. No, Jay Smooth stays alive. Kill Panic destroys the T1 in that firefight. Executus not
but
out
to
of
the west,
shells yet.
to the east, we've got Conflict taking fire. He goes down. Jen Scott is alone next to Zakume and Mournblade, and Pub Whisper Rummy is reloading and has to run as far away as he can. This is easily going in favor of Simple Tankers.
Jen Scott in that T69 down to 362. Executus on the other side of the map is on the run for Rummy. And Rummy in the 1390 swings around the hill towards the west, but he's going to be met by 2 T1s. And the 1390 J Smooth is going to try to fire from above, and he falls to Rummy. It looks like a shot from a long ways, but Rummy is going to be surrounded by the T1s. Can the T1s get the kill? No, down to 41, now 30, but Executus in the 1390 cleans it up. Lieutenant Carter, last one left alive, is all the way on the east in the village section, and he may be going for the flag, or he may be going for a swift Thelman Louise jump off the cliff.
Yeah, he's not going to do the ladder there, Clutch, unfortunately. Well, he'll just stay alive.
Pub Whisperer will be up to the north, joined by his buddies. Going to get the flag cap very quickly here, less than 40 seconds. Once they get the 3rd tank on there, it'll go even faster. Now we are down to 24 seconds for the flag cap.
Yeah, they just don't want to hunt for that T1. But let's talk about what just happened. That was WZ-132's just not working out. Just not.
Nah, don't bring 2 of them.
Don't.
1, yes.
Okay.
On mines.
On mines, not Cliff.
No.
I don't think on Cliff. Just when engagement starts like that, bounces that I was seeing happening, and just wasn't happening. Just GG Simple Tankers there.
Well, you know what that means? That means we're going to go to battle number 5 in this best of 5 series. We're going to play all the maps here, or at least all the battles, not all the maps, because there's more than 5 maps in a map.
But I want to actually take a look at those WZ-132s and how they performed. We see that Haywood's only able to get 155 damage out. Angry White Guy gets 356, but these tanks just aren't performing that well. Haywood misses one of his 2 shots. I mean, and he gets burst down. He doesn't have a chance to really get it done.
They're playing a corner game against 1390s. You fire once, the 1390 turns the corner, fires 2 to 3 times before you're reloaded. It's a simple math game. They're going to do more damage to your tank before you do enough damage to...
Precisely, and that's why it doesn't work out. You need range in order to make it work.
That's right. And we're going to go and take a quick break. We come back. Battle number 5, Nerve versus Simple Tanker. Stay tuned. You're watching the Gold League for World of Tanks. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. Wargaming.net. I'm Clutch, joined by Rookhill. We're about to jump into battle number 5 of Simple Tankers versus Nerve. Simple Tankers, when they're not bringing the Waffentrager, are performing very well. when Nerve brings 2 WZ-132s, they fall pretty fast.
Yeah.
So going against unconventional play is not proving to be very beneficial for these teams so far for tonight and for Simple Tankers in the past.
There's a reason we see Pershing's T-69s, 1390s a lot on this map.
It's been tested and proven. There's been scientific methods being done over hundreds of thousands of man hours, people playing World of Tanks to figure out what they want to play for 7x42. And you guys should be taking notes as well, because when you play the team battles on 7x42 in the client itself, it is a lot of fun, and when you learn how to put a proper team together with these tanks, you'll be ranking in those credits and that XP as well.
Exactly. There's a play style, and you have to pick the best tanks for it if you're going to begin an early engagement at close range. Most maps are designed so that 1390s will meet, and then you'll get about 5 to 10 seconds before you guys can start shooting up at each other. And, well, we see how that worked.
Yeah.
WZ-132s just need to engage at range, and then they'll work. They'll work fantastically then, I think.
Well, this is the map that we have seen some fruitful use of the WZ-132. That's mine. It's my personal favorite. I feel that the water side is always that other avenue that I favor when I try to play or when I try to command, which is very rarely. But I am undefeated when I've commanded teams in 7x42, by the way.
Lucky you, Clutch.
In my 3 or 4 games that I've played. Commanding at least. But I've had a lot of fun playing with Simp and some of the Fulcrum guys as well. I was actually playing with some of the No Limit guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Rukil's screen to detail some of the pros and cons of this map.
Okay, Clutch, you were talking about your water strat, and I agree with it. I love it. You send a 1390 or 2 right down the one line, and you can get there very quickly and safely. There's a small window right in about here where if your opponent is taking up the right positions, they can put fire out onto your tank there. There's a small window, and it's a little hard to do.
Let's go ahead and jump into the game, guys. Battle number 5. The winner takes 3 points. The loser 0. If it's a draw, we'll go into shootout. Simple Tankers versus Nerve. Let's jump into the game.
And taking a look at the tanks, a single 5100, 2 T-69s, and 2 1390s on the side of Nerve. On the other side, we're going to see a WZ-132, 2 1390s, a Pershing, and an AMX 5100. Simple Tankers. So they are going to bring that WZ-132. They're going to play for the hillside. Calling it right now.
It's going to be in the hands of Simple Tankers this time, as Jason's going to command that. I'm going to jump over to him. We're going to follow him all the way up, because I like seeing the traverse speed of WZ-132.
Horrible jump. He's got the spawning position. He got a really far east
Oh, he's
one.
in the back.
Yeah, not good for him. He's going
It's
to
okay. The 1390s can
yeah, but
ram
look at
and
how far
block.
behind is on those 1390s. That actually will affect things because you want that early spawn. If you can get a good spawn in this WZ-132, you get that first shot off a little faster. Executus, Pub Whisperer, Conflict, Rummy have met up at the top, and that WZ-132 still. Oh, there's Jay Smooth. He's finally joined him. But Rummy and Conflict may be able to just drive off the hill at this point without taking a whole lot of damage. Although watch out, Rummy, because that looked like it was a little bit damage.
Well, the WZ-132 took a hit from the T-69, fires again into Jen Scott. Nice 1390s hitting the side, and Mornblade gets the kill in the 5100. Haywood surrounded on both sides of the T-69. He's going to fall easily. J-Smooth still lives. Zakui the Pershing's going to block for his battle buddy, and Rummy's going to fall against Mornblade, or at least a big hit against him. And now Conflict takes some damage. Wow, Simple Tankers cleaning this up quickly, as now Sakumi rams into Conflict. He's going to take a little bit more damage here, and Conflict down to 18 health. Falls to Executus. Angry White Guy gets a return kill against J-Smooth, who is low on his tank, and now it is 3 tier 8s versus 1 tier 8. Angry White Guy is in some trouble.
Yeah, just not working out. They left the hill, and then we saw mediums go up to the hill. I think there was a miscommunication there from Jen Scott and Haywood. They were told to maybe go into the fight while the 1390 said, no, bail, bail, bail. And because of that, we had a really lopsided fight in favor of Simple Tankers.
Yeah, very lopsided indeed. Those 1390s may have had some serious trouble with the WZ-132 and the other 1390 up there because of the Pershing's position as well, but it would have left them maybe a little bit open. Angry White Guy's going to fall here pretty quickly. Jumping over to Warnblade real quick in the 5100. Pub Whisper actually gets the final kill in the 1390 on the move, and that is going to be a victory for Simple Tankers after they kill this 1T1, just trying to get there as fast as he can.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
Lieutenant,
Executus.
minute 16 seconds on the cap. Where's that 1390? There he is. There's Executus, and he's going to be able to take him down.
He's going to fire on the move. No, he's going to hang
Nah,
right
he's
behind
just
the
gonna smash.
supplies. Booyah. And there's a ram kill Simple Tankers is able to take the series 3-2.
Yeah.
Nerve was looking good when Simple Tankers was using the unconventional methods. Nerve tried a little bit of unconventional play themselves, was devastating for them. I really liked the consistent fight of the WZ-132 on top of that hill. These teams have been bringing these tanks over and over again. We have a replay actually to show you guys that engagement because it went very quickly.
Yeah. Notice how the 1390s get there at the same time. And I was talking about it earlier. WZ-132 is late to the party. He doesn't get to get these shots off that he really wants on the 1390s. But it doesn't matter. They're already fleeing. And because of that, they've left the fight. They're out of it. They're below the hill. And as you can see, there's 2 medium tanks going up the hill. That's a T-69 who's taking so much damage. And he goes down quickly, not able to even get finish his clip. Another T-69 runs up. And the 1390s are just now going to get into the fight. They're late. And now we've got 2 TR-8s down for almost free. Now it's a 3v5, not a fair fight. Simple Tankers takes it really easily from this point.
Yeah, those 1390s, when they left the firefight, it allowed the rest of Simple Tankers to clean up what was up there and then move down to support the Pershings to the bottom. I can't imagine a scenario where it would have worked, those 1390s leaving.
I think it's a miscommunication.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading out of the situation. They said someone said forward, and then someone said no, we're leaving already, and they're jumping off the cliff because they don't think they can win the fight. I don't know.
Well, everyone lost. That's what it came down to. Because of the hill play and a nice play from Simple Tankers, that is going to be the end of match number 1. Match number 2 will be Game Over versus Simp. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue on for day number 4 of week 1 of season 3 of the Gold League for World of Tanks. Stay tuned.